Angels, you are watching the Sunday Evening Spectacular MMT from the City of Angels. Excited to be here. I just got out of Paw Patrol. And I already read the comments. Some of you are like, dude, you don't need to watch every single movie that's out. That's what happens when you have A-list. I mean, I've got 3 movies to burn here this week. I've got nothing. I'm going to see Exorcist Believer coming up on Tuesday, courtesy of Universal, so I don't have to use an A-list. By the way, huge stream Tuesday night. We're going to talk about Believer, one of those live it's not a review streams, okay? So just be aware of that. But tonight, we do start with our big story. It is The Creator. Why did this film crash? As you may have heard by now, if you watch Breaking Box Office this morning, you know that this film only made $14 million from roughly 3,600 cinemas across the country. Okay, it's $80 million film. Remember, whenever we discuss budget, it's important because we're trying to look for when the film is going to be profitable. And that number is typically 2.5 minimum, okay? So that puts that at 200 million this needs to make. Well, guess what? With international 18.3, it only opened to 32.3 million globally. So we are roughly $170 million away from this being any kind of moneymaker. Like the first dollar that this film makes for Disney / 20th Century, as you know, they bought Fox and now it's part of Disney, will be never. It's never going to happen. So why did it happen? You guys come in. We need to discuss this tonight. It's our big topic before we get into things like, yes, I have a shill of the week tied into The Creator. I have a whack film take tied into The Creator. I also have, yes, my MMT evaluation of Paw Patrol, the mighty movie. I think that's the exact title. Don't hold me to that if I'm a little off. I apologize. Let's discuss what happened to The Creator. Here are the reasons this film did not do the numbers that we anticipate. Listen, I thought that maybe it'd get to 20, right? Maybe 20. This is 33% under that, roughly. So I want to show you one more thing. If you didn't watch Breaking Box Office this morning, look here at the Disney email. They don't even really acknowledge it's their film. They're like, New Regency's The Creator. It's not our film. It's not ours. Just, yeah, man, it's just something that we kind of just shoved out there. If it were a hit, it would be just The Creator. But when it turns into what it is, it's now New Regency's The Creator. This is how no one else sees this shit. Why am I the only person who understands how the game is played here in Hollywood? Why am I the only one? Literally the only one, right? Not the anti-woke people. They don't know what's going on. All they do is rage against this is woke. Shut up. Do something better. Do something smarter, okay? Yes, some things that are woke are bad. Not everything. Not everything. Okay, here's the reason that The Creator crashed / as I titled tonight's stream, got creamed. Audiences didn't see something different here. When they looked at the trailer, when they looked at this film, they just saw another version of the film that it is, which is Avatar, Blade Runner, District 9, Midnight Special. I know that's like very niche, but I want to throw that out there versus The Mandalorian. When you look at the poster for The Creator, you're looking at The Mandalorian. Are you not? I mean, that's how Disney marketed this. I'm sorry, New Regency marketed this. And it didn't work. The audiences were like, I've seen this film before. Like a billion other times. That's my favorite, by the way. Wait till we get into the shill of the week and also the whack film review of the week, which both are like original sci-fi. Yeah, it's not a sequel, but it's not original. Don't call The Creator original. What are we doing? I'm so tired of crappy critics. They're everywhere. Just here's the safe way to pick out a crappy critic. Are they a critic? They're crappy. That's just the reality of it. All right, number 2. Is John David Washington a draw? I think we can say no to this because when you look at his track record, now granted, Tenet was during COVID. Some of us had to drive to Las Vegas to see it because it's too dangerous to go see a movie in LA. You might kill everybody you know. Don't ever fall for that shit again. Ever. But we did. And we played along like good boys and girls. And we drove to Las Vegas to see it. That's not his fault. That film didn't fire the way that it should have, right? Because if that is a Nolan film in normal movie-going conditions, then we are talking about a bigger film than Tenet turned out to be. It turned out to make, decent cash considering the odds against it, right? In the middle of all that. But go back and look at, what was the film? I always forget because I don't want to remember the name of it. The one from David O. Russell with him and Margot Robbie and Christian Bale, whatever that was. I don't want to remember what the title was. You know what I'm talking about. I already have literally memory hold that. It's gone. That film didn't work, okay? John David Washington, first of all, not a star because he doesn't possess the charisma needed. So this is a big-time hit for him again. The fact that this film did not succeed this weekend. And by the way, one other thing I want to talk about as we get into a few other things here, someone sent a tweet saying, I'm so tired of everyone saying that a film's a bomb after just 3 days. Well, dude, let me explain for those of you who don't understand box office. It's generally a pretty damn good indicator of how a film's going to do over the long run. If the opening weekend is meh at best, okay, then how all of a sudden is going to pick up? It's happened before. Greatest Showman, very rare, okay? Avatar 2 did not do the numbers we expected that opening weekend, but remember, what do both those films have in common? Greatest Showman, Avatar 2. Christmas Corridor. That is when everybody is off. They're going to movies and you see things just go bang. The money piles up so fast because everyone's going to the movies like it's a Saturday on a Tuesday because they're off for 2 weeks. Okay. This doesn't have that luxury. So the creator will be a massive underachiever to my friend who doesn't want to hear about how box office does not determine if the film's a success in the first 3 days. I guess whoever, I'm not going to bring the tweet up. The guy who sent that has a podcast. Right there, you know what you're telling me? You don't know what the hell you're talking about. Why are you doing a podcast when you don't understand what the hell you're talking about? Why are we going to listen to you? You come here to MMT because you know I'm going to tell you the truth, and it's reality. Everything that happens, first of all, that I tell you happened. Second of all, pretty good about gauging how things are going to do in the marketplace, with the exception of The Flash. Okay, and I still am going to stick to the guns on that being a very entertaining film. I don't care what you guys say. The fact that it did bomb is still very hurtful to me. I take it personally, but Warner Brothers really messed that film up so many ways, and certainly James Gunn by saying, these things matter to the MCU, the DCU going forward. None of it matters. Okay, good job. That's how you market. Number 3, with the creator, is going to tie right into our show of the week and to our whack film review of the week. Critics don't matter. They just don't. I don't matter. If you're a critic, you don't matter. Name a critic. They don't matter. They move the needle like this much. Right. You ready? Here's the needle. That's it. Do you see? Do you see my hand move? That's it. And that's if you're a big critic like me, right? I'm moving it like that. But I say the one thing that I have going for me that all these other people don't, well, majority of them don't, that if I hate a film, whichever one, that I am 100% authentic about that. And I believe that. I'm never saying something to get likes, to get views. Clearly, look at the views. But who cares? That's not why I do this. I don't give a shit. I want to talk about good quality cinema, like Paw Patrol 2. No, it's coming. But critics don't matter, right? Seriously, the days of Siskel and Ebert are over because, first of all, we have so many influencers in the space, like our friend Brandon Davis and Erick Davis, the Davis boys, the Shills. The Davis Shills have ruined it for everybody, right? Those two have destroyed film criticism. And then you throw in a Soups, you throw in, look even at Grace Randolph, terrible film critic. Literally, I think she has a batting average of like 40%, maybe 50. Occasionally she gets one right, but she doesn't really know what she's talking about. Here, listen, when have I been, how many times people stop me and go, my God, you saw, yes, they're now coming to me after seeing The Creator, after I savaged that film, right? I don't hate it, but I told you that it's got so many issues with it. And it's just a complete retelling of Rogue One. the emotional beats of the film literally mirror Rogue One across the entire film. But people come and go, this guy's right. Well, of course I'm right. I'm good. Sorry, it's the reality of it. Okay, let's do the whack film review spotlight. Then we'll get into all of your reasons why the creator bombed. Okay? And yes, to my friend, I don't want to hear about how box office in the first 3 days is. Shut up. You don't know what you're talking about. How about you do that for us? Just go away because you're clueless. That would help us all out. I hate having to answer those tweets too. It's like, I can't. I'm now at the point where I don't even want to deal with, I suffer fools terribly. And there's a lot of fools out there. Okay? Sorry. It's the reality of it. Okay, let's go to our good friend. And I just realized this the other night. We showed it on Thursday night when we last did a stream. But this dude is raving about the creator, and then you guys came in. Now I can really get into this. And our show of the week is right after this. Okay, we're gonna go 1-2 on this. I feel like I can tell you all now that Gareth Edwards, the creator, is phenomenal. Probably my favorite movie I've seen this year, and visually one of the most stunning films I've ever seen. An absolute masterpiece of original cinematic sci-fi. First of all, Gary Whitta is a writer that worked on Rogue One. So yes, we can make him the shill as well. You can't write a tweet like this about someone you work with and not at least disclose. You have to at least, hey, yes, I wrote Rogue One with Gareth. I worked with him. He's a friend. But the movie's also awesome. But can you imagine Gary Whitta coming on here and saying the movie's terrible? Of course he wouldn't. That's why I'm me and Gary Whitta's him. Don't listen to these people. They are unreliable. They're compromised, and they are ruining everything that we do. Everything that we're trying to do, this guy is ruining, along with our show of the week coming up next. But you guys see the problem, right? And first of all, if it's his favorite movie he's seen this year, and he's calling it an absolute masterpiece, probably my favorite movie. How many masterpieces do you have, Gary? How many do you have this year? Terrible. Absolutely terrible. Okay, let's go to, here comes our show of the week. You guys ready? I don't think you maybe haven't heard of this person, but it's time to get familiar with the name Joe Deckelmeyer. We talked about him on Thursday. I am officially making him the MMT shill of the week because Joe Deckelmeyer works for a publication that relies on interviews with filmmakers. Now, if you are a publication that sells ads, relies on articles to propagate stuff for your site, are you going to be able to hammer a film? Come in right now. Tell me right now, real quick. Can you hammer a film? Can you be unvarnished? Can you walk out of a film and say it's an abomination? Will you ever see that happen? No, you won't, because then you lose the ad dollars. Then you lose the access and the accent. Hey, y'all. But that's the problem when you write for a Screen Rant, which is what he writes for. Let's show you the tweet, and then I'm going to just double down and show you why we're making him the show of the week. The creator is a masterpiece and one of the year's best movies. Okay, first of all, Joseph, let me explain film criticism to you, everybody. Get ready. We're going to just pile on this dude. It's a masterpiece and one of the year's best movies. If it's a masterpiece, it is the year's best movie, Joe. There's not more than one masterpiece a year, Joseph. Who taught you the meaning of the word masterpiece? Are you cogent with that? Do you understand what that word means? Do you understand the definition of masterpiece? How can you have multiple masterpieces in 1 year? 2019, we might have. We had, listen, I don't think Once Upon a Time in Hollywood is a masterpiece, but a really good film. And of course, Parasite is. And then we also had Ad Astra. Yes. Okay. But certainly, listen, Ad Astra is more of a masterpiece than the creator will ever be. Ever. So my boy Joseph's like, it's a masterpiece and one of the year's best movies. It's one of the year's best movies, but no, it has to be. Do you guys understand this? Do you understand why I'm losing my shit right now? Do you guys understand this? Do you get it? This is why we have a problem. Okay, Gareth Edwards does a masterful twice. Masterful, that's bad writing. Terrible writing. Does a masterful job of keeping the audience engaged every step of the way. That's incorrect. Boring as hell. The little girl is in conversation for the Oscars? Is that the little girl, Madeline Una Voiles? The girl, right? What? What? I might just have to stop doing this. I think I'm done. I can't hang out with these people. These people are ruining what I do. They are destroying everything that we hold so beloved by issuing these giant proclamations that are inaccurate. And listen, someone just came in and said, exactly, he does think McNuggets. Listen, guys, I'm gonna flip the table. I'm tired of these people. I'm tired of these wannabe issuing these gigantic proclamations when they don't even watch half the films. Maybe Joseph watches more than our friend Brandon Davis. But let me double down and show you why it's more of a problem. Here are Joseph Deckelmeyer's articles on Screen Rant as you see him posed with Thanos' glove. Look, article, the creator, DPs on collaborating with Gareth Edwards. There's an Evans. I know, that's why I always mess that up. And he also has Foe coming out. I heard it's not good. Okay, there's one. Next, creator visual effects. Next, two. Let's see. I think there's another one in here. So he has 2 articles. Oh, here it is. Interviewing the director. Okay, that's 3. So he has 3 articles on interviews with people involved with the creator. Now, help me out, guys. I've never clapped. I'm getting so fired up right now. Do you guys see the problem? Do you understand why this is an issue? This guy writes articles about the film, so of course he's going to praise it. And it looks like goes way overboard with it so he can be even more ingratiated with the people he's going to do an interview with. The thing is I could never do that. I'd walk out of a movie and they'd say, no, Bo is afraid. Oh my God. And then they say, you're going to talk to Ari Aster. Like, no, I can't. I don't want to. And that's why I will always be me and I'll never change. I'm never going to do those interviews because I don't know if I'm going to like a film. I could never be a Q&A guy for a film that I don't like. I would be like, this movie's bad. And they'd be like, okay, you just like, this is really awkward. You're on stage saying the movie's bad. So that's my lot in life. To be authentic, and these people are not. These people just, you can't listen to them. Do you guys understand what I'm saying? All right, I think I've drilled that into the ground. But do you exactly access? Thank you, Pieces of 8 Film Society. These people are all about access. They're all about getting invited to events. I went to go see The Boy and the Heron on Friday, and I have a quick reaction stream up from Beverly Hills. Thank you so much. On Friday night. I'm not going to talk about that film until we get closer to it, but when I went to the event, this is where I'm at. I was explaining, this is the reason I'm bringing this up. I went to the event in Beverly Hills at a screening room. Afterwards, they had a social mixer out in the rotunda. I looked, this is going to sound terrible. I looked around at the crowd and I was like, I don't want to hang out with these people. Like, I don't want to be around these people. I'm done. I'm done with all of this stuff. And it gives me incredible power to go after these people. Like if I see Joe Deckelmeyer somewhere, I'll be like, dude, you're a shill. What do you want me to say? I don't care anymore. I'm going to ruffle as many feathers as I can. I'm going to get people pissed. It's what it is. That's what the channel is. Because here's the thing. It's valid. I'm not just randomly picking Joseph Deckelmeyer to attach Show of the Week. It's specific. It's because he's a shill. It's because he's not a critic. So you can't issue statements and opinions about films if you are always going to be positive. Let me just do one more thing here, since we have it, and then we'll stop. This is not the Joseph Deckelmeyer show, okay? Although we might get more views. What do you guys think? The Joseph Deckelmeyer hour. That's all we talk about. Okay. Here we go. I just started randomly putting in things. Okay, here we go. Can you see this? So I put in, let me zoom in so you guys can see this. Let me make me small. You don't need to see me big, that's for sure. I put in his Twitter handle, and I put in atrocious, right? So let's just see. Did he use the word atrocious ever? Okay, let's go to terrible. This is funny, by the way. Come on, guys. Tell me this is good. Because this is called good journalism. Did he ever he used terrible talking about being a turkey on Thanksgiving? Some comment, nothing. Okay, let's see. Let's just put in bad movie. Hold on. I'm sorry. You got to watch the research live. It's okay. Nope, he didn't even say that. Someone replied to him that Crystal Skull's a bad movie. What's another search term? Terrible, atrocious, worst. Let me put in worst. Let's see if Joe used worst. Quantumania isn't the worst Marvel movie. It's also not the best. Well, first of all, Quantumania is definitely not the worst. But second of all, he still didn't even use it. Okay, that's it. One thing. Working on the Brian McKnight show was the worst job I ever had from 2009. This guy's been on Twitter like as long as me. LA has the worst parking ever. There's nothing like worst movie. Do you guys see? Now, do you want to have some fun? Get ready. Here we go. Let's put in Eric Weber in atrocious. Here we go. You guys ready? Let's find out how many times I said a movie's a bad movie. Well, first of all, there's my film courage thing. Hold on. Let's put somebody in atrocious. That's a little bit stronger, right? Would you guys agree? It's pretty strong. Atrocious. Okay. Ben Shapiro, atrocious critic, 100%. 65 movie, atrocious editing. Yes, 100%. I stand behind that. What else do we have? Why is this going so slow? Let's see. Let's keep going. Atrocious tweet, atrocious movies. Halloween Ends, atrocious 90-minute. Come on, guys. Give me some love. Look how many times this guy hasn't used atrocious once. I've used it. I can keep going. It's unbelievable. Listen, Mega YouTube, God darn it, you're back, and now you're going to piss me off again. I'm going to have to mute you and get rid of you again. Here's the deal. I've already explained my opinions. Go back and watch the stream on the creator. Dude, do you pay attention? I literally think sometimes that you are like checked out. Like half of you is not even here. It's unbelievable to me. I'm allowed to hammer film. I already talked about it. What do you want me to talk about it every time? I explained it. Oh, I'll check Abysmal. Give me a second. Let me check Abysmal. I know he didn't use Abysmal. I know I have. Hold on. Did I spell it right? I think I did. There it is. Scream 6, Abysmal. Hold on. Bottoms, Abysmal. True. Both of those are bad. Women Talking has an abysmal title. Hold on. What else? For some reason my thing's on. The Whale's abysmal. Insidious 5, abysmal. Do you see? Fury in the Gods is pretty much abysmal. Do you see? I use these terms. These people are just, they don't use any of them. They're fake. Fake. What? Hold on. Can someone go after Mega YouTube for me? Can you go? Honestly, you're a timeout. I'm done. I'm not bringing up. You're gone for a while. Goodbye. I mean, seriously, unbelievable. My self-awareness. Oh, like I don't know what. Are you saying I'm a shill? Are you kidding me? Dude, just go away. Go away. Don't even watch anymore. It's not even worth it with you. Honest to God. Go back to watch Gore. Watch Gore and get nothing of value out of it. Someone who's not even a good film critic. Go watch Gore. Go watch Gore. Go for it. I don't care. Like I'm going to miss you. I'm not. Go hang out with Gore, your boy. Shills lack thesauruses. I guess. I need some new ones for terrible. Because travelers, I want to. I want to. Thank you, Harrison. That's exactly right. You damn right it is. No, listen, I'm allowed to do this. I don't care. I don't, no, Sham, I'm not going to say that. I'm going to go aggressive. It's what the channel is. It is what it is. I don't know what to tell you guys. All right, let's get ready for this. You guys ready? It's going to go from me hammering movies to just be ready for what's coming. Get ready. Paw Patrol won the weekend. Paw Patrol 2, The Mighty Something, won with 23 million. And tonight, I went to see Paw Patrol, The Mighty Movie by myself, which is how I like to see every movie. You guys want to see? This is me. And to proof that it was tonight, look, he has the same kid on. This is Alebrijes de Oaxaca out of Mexico. And by the way, there's a Dora short that has Alebrijes before. And I go, what? It's really weird to wear this and then have that. Here it is. If you're looking for this very fashionable football shirt, don't ask me to say Alabrijes de Oaxaca again. That's it. That's all I got. All right. So here's me. Get ready, guys. It's time for the MMT evaluation. It is Paw Patrol 2. Listen, this is a movie for little kids. I get it. I shouldn't have been there. Like, there's nothing in this film for anyone over the age of, say, 7. But if I were to transport myself back to Gahanna, Ohio, way back when, the little 7-year-old Erick watching Paw Patrol 2, I would say this is bright, cheery animation. And it has a relentlessly positive message. These are two good things. If I'm a 7-year-old, I'm like, this movie's kind of fun. It's wholesome. It's got a little menace, just a slight tinge, but enough to make you, if you're a little kid, like, I don't know about this. And the best part is it's short. It's not even an hour and a half. So when all is said and done, when you watch the 6 dogs save people from perilous situations, and this time around they get turned into superheroes through a meteor that crashes on Earth, and they get a crystal they put in their dog tag, and they each take on the superpower of whatever they do. Like the guy who puts fires out with water turns into a water shooter. The person who deals with fire can shoot fire. The person who is strong can move objects with his mind. I'm going. I've already told you so much about this film that you didn't want to know. But I didn't hate my time because it was largely enjoyable for the 7-year-old Erick as he watched Paw Patrol 2. The score for me is 80%. If you're 7, it's 90%. This is a good score. So don't ever question if I'm not fully invested in cinema. I think what I just discussed proves it for the final time. Don't ever bring it up again. BB, thank you for the super chat. It'll buy me my Diet Mountain Dew fountain at 7-Eleven tomorrow. There's a 7 in my age. Well, I like this movie. It's short. And if you're 27, I think the higher you go, the less, the higher you go with the 7s, the less you're going to enjoy it. So if you're 37, for every 67, watch out, 77, and then it's pretty much by the time you're 97 or 107, you don't need to see the film. Anything under 97, you can probably find something to attach to here, such as the message of even the smallest can make the biggest contribution. Right? Is that not right there? Did you just feel your heart just get all warm? No, Paw Patrol is not, Harrison, better than Ruby Gilman. Ruby Gilman's fun. Ruby Gilman plays on the multiple levels. It's the teenage girl. It's the teenage Kraken. This is for little kids. This is like the show you put your little kids in front of the television for, and there's the 6 pups, and they go out and save people. And this one there's not a single objectionable thing in this film. There's also nothing really clever in it. There's like maybe one line that I can't recall because it wasn't that clever, but the film is okay. And the best news is the reason the film did well is we haven't had a family film in forever. When's the last time? By the way, I feel like I'm doing what's his name? That Jeremy Johns when I do this. Look, there hasn't been a family film for like 27 years. You know what I'm saying? There hadn't been a movie like that. I mean, you know what I'm saying? And then someone would do me and be like, "You will pay." Oh, damn, that's fucking intense, bro. Jeremy Johns, listen, man, there hasn't been a family movie forever, so we need to have something that kids want to go see, and they did. You know, I mean, it's not really for me, but it's a good movie. Does he sound like that? I think is he kind of a New Yorker? I have no idea. Listen, it's because I just hammered shills. We have to go full, like one side, we got to tilt hard to the other. I just went so hard on whatever his name was from Screen Rant, and all that, the bullshit and criticism. I have to have some fun with Paw Patrol. Here's what I want to bring it back to about Paw Patrol. I evaluate every movie for the intended audience. Okay. I know that sounds strange that you're able to still do that because I'm no longer 7, but you somehow find a way to access the film in the way that it's intended to be consumed by the age group that is doing the consuming. So when I watch Paw Patrol, I'm not at all, I mean, obviously, looking at that through the lens of an awards film or a great drama, horror, clearly. None of that. It is a movie for little kids. In fact, the audience was families and like 17 kids talking the entire time. Like, oh, that's a cute doggy. Normally I get angry. I don't care. I'm at Paw Patrol. It's a Sunday night. What do I give a shit? Talk, kid. Go ahead. Throw the popcorn around. I don't care. It's Paw Patrol. Now, if you do that shit in a good film, then I'm going to have a problem. Exactly. We don't base these things and the grades on if it's going to win Best Picture. It's interesting. We talked about, and go watch my reaction stream when we're done here, because obviously this is riveting stuff. You you want to, when I watched The Boy and the Heron, I ran that through the Academy lens, right? The Oscars lens on that, because it's Miyazaki. Is it going to be a contender along with Spider-Verse and Wish? Those are the top two, Spider-Verse and Wish. So watch the stream. That's what I run it through the lens of. Now, if I was to run it through the anime lens only, right, then I still wouldn't have it as highly graded as Belle, which, by the way, I'm going to get to it right now because I always forget at the end. I think I've done it before, but I can't stress enough how much I adore, and I mean absolutely love, Belle. It is an anime film from 2022, okay? And it got shafted at the Oscars, didn't even get a nomination. It is an unbelievably gorgeous film, and the songs, I mean, that score. I'm so happy to have seen Belle multiple times in IMAX. They played it in IMAX for like a week, and I went 2 or 3 times. That's how fantastic that film is. I would say it is an animated masterpiece. Just if you haven't seen it, you have to. That is your must-see here tonight. But we run these films like a Belle through that lens, the awards lens, because it's that level. Boy and the Heron, awards lens, that level. I don't like Boy and the Heron as much as I like Belle. Because the thing about Belle, and I know we've gone all over the place, right? We've gone from the creator and shills to Paw Patrol, and now we're talking about anime. That's what this channel is. I don't want to tell you. That's what it is. But all these things have one thing in common. They're all theatrical. Every single one of these things we talked about. So when you look at Belle and you look at what that's able to accomplish, it's more accessible. And Boy and the Heron is weird. It is just a weird film. There are giant killer parakeets, for starters. They're so strange, and I think that even though it's trying to deliver the grief, overcoming grief, it's very Narnia-esque. It's not as riveting as Belle. Belle is just, I think, very easy for anyone to consume, and then it works on the multiple levels, which is the best in anime, right? When it's really easy to consume and it's got the multiple levels working, typically great anime will do that. I don't believe The Boy and the Heron gets to that level at all. I don't think it's a bad film, but I definitely did not love the film. We'll talk about that as we get closer. Go watch the quick reaction stream. Oh, listen, Gabba, listen, I'm not going to talk. I'm going to explain myself on Saw X for everyone just quickly on this. I don't want to watch torture porn. I've seen Terrifier, and I've told you my feelings on that. I think we go when you watch a film like a Terrifier, when I just saw the first one, right? They put it back in theaters, and I finally saw it on the big screen, and he's cutting the girl in half. It's X-rated horror, right? I mean, it is super graphic. That's not even fair. It is macabrely graphic. When you look at that film, you start to lose your humanity. And I understand a lot of you saying Saw X is good. It's one of the better Saw films. I just don't find someone strapped to a chair and you've got to dig into your brain to get some part to save yourself. That's not what I want to watch. And Terrifier 2 too, Pert-Minded. I mean, I understand. Listen, I get why people like Terrifier 2. I just had this conversation with an exec Listen, I told you the other night, me and Menzel having drinks in Toluca Lake. Next to us is two execs from a major production studio. And I talked about Terrifier. They're familiar with it. They hadn't seen it. And they go, what makes it good? I said, well, I can tell you what makes Terrifier good. It's Art the Clown. Art the Clown is scary as hell. I mean, you look at that dude when he walks into the first film, right? He walks into the deli and they're sitting down and he's just got his bag of utensils. That dude is creepy. And when you can create a character like that, that is that menacing, that evil, then you have something. And that's exactly what Damien has with that. The problem with Terrifier is that it goes too far. I don't want to watch a film where the violence is, and it almost like glorifies it, right? Where you have the girl strapped to the bed in Terrifier 2, and he just keeps abusing the body to the point where it's just like, I don't want to watch that. But I understand, Pert-Minded, why you might think it's entertaining. It is what it is, okay? That's true. Film critics Soups and Brandon Davis would not watch Paw Patrol. So who's the champion? Me. I mean, seriously, the range to go from Paw Patrol to Boy and the Heron, both animated films, my God, could they not be more different? When you look at that and then you go to, I'm going to see what I see last week, Holdovers, Creator. This week I'm going to see Exorcist on Tuesday. Big stream Tuesday night. This is not a review, but here's the question. Do you think, before we get into the Tuesday, I got more stuff tonight, but I just want to tell you right now, do you think David Gordon Green somehow managed to make a decent Exorcist movie? I'm going to tell you what I think about what happened with that film on Tuesday after I see it, because the test screenings, they said, went really bad. I'm going to give you my theory, and after I see it, I'll know. I'll know Tuesday night. We're back here about 8:30, 9 o'clock. Somewhere in that window, get the alerts for the Exorcist Believer live stream. Obviously spoiler-free. Obviously is not a review, so we have to be very careful. But at least you'll know, is the film decent or is it really bad? Okay. The Creator was overhyped. Definitely, Miguel. Definitely not a masterpiece. Another case of critics wanting to be quoted on marketing. It's really sad. It is sad. It's very incredibly sad that these critics. I think it's two things. Even if they don't want to be quoted, let's just say that you went to the first screening and maybe you didn't want to be quoted. Maybe you really liked it. Like I saw John Wick 4. Remember, I saw John Wick 4 early. And look, hold on. I'm going to put it right here. I haven't done this before. The best action movie, Eric Weber. Okay, I know that quote went out when I saw John Wick 4. Here it is, right here. Hey, everybody, guess what I made? I made People magazine. I didn't even know that until right now. Look, you guys see this? This is this article. Film critic Erick Weber, thank you. It's so this is the best. Can I just tell you tonight, I'm glad you guys are here. This is the crowning achievement of my existence on planet Earth. People magazine not only recognizes me, but calls me a film critic, which is very debatable. Went as far as to call John Wick 4 one of the greatest action movies ever made in a review shared on Twitter, and wrote the sequel tops all three of its predecessors in storytelling, scope, and stakes, countless astonishing set pieces. Who's the badass? And I stand by that. And you guys know that I'm right. If you've seen John Wick 4, you know I'm right. Now, I don't care. I love the movie. But here's the thing that I have going for me that these other guys don't. When I issue this, it's true. Sorry. It is. Is it not? You know that I'm not just going to throw that shit out there. I'm not going to do that. I am not going to devalue anything that I'm going to say. We do enough of that on the stream. If I'm going to be quoted on Twitter, I'm going to say something that I believe in. But I mean, that's the thing. So when you have the power of people believing your words, which is most critics don't have. They'd never, because they lost it a long time ago. They lose it when people watch The Creator. I don't lose it. Now, granted, you guys are going to get me on Quantumania. You're going to say Ant-Man. You're going to say Thor: Love and Thunder. For what they were entertaining films. Now, as Marvel films, I get what you're saying. But I'm saying as a film, I don't give a shit about comic book movies, guys. I really don't. I don't watch these things going, like MODOK. That's not MODOK to me. I'm like, that's funny. It's like a giant-headed egg dude, Humpty Dumpty. To me, I don't know MODOK. I don't follow the religion of comic books. I'm sorry, guys. I don't know what to tell you. I got a life outside of reading comic books all day. I don't have like action figures behind me. I have FYC boxes because these are films. I don't have toys. I have football shirts, soccer jerseys, and I have a few action figures from when I was a kid, but I don't collect that stuff. This is what I collect, my FYC screenings, because these are movies. I love movies. So you know what I say I believe in. And most critics don't have that. They lost it a long time ago. So, guys, I think this is the greatest. Thank you for everyone being here. Can you give me a thumbs up for this moment? Because I can feel it, that I've been recognized. I've been seen by People Magazine. It's amazing. Don't tell me The Exorcist is garbage. Just don't tell me that. I'm going to see it Tuesday. You know how I feel about David Gordon Green. He destroyed Halloween. I mean, Halloween Ends is an abomination, right? It's abysmal. It's one of the worst. It is maybe the single worst trashing of a series in the history of film. I mean, you're going to say Star Wars, right? Okay, I get it. But what they did to Michael Myers with Corey, and then made Michael Myers like possess Corey, and there was 2 Michael Myers-ish kind of guys in a house killing. What the hell is this shit? That was terrible. So if he does that, like in Exorcist, the 2 girls that are possessed all of a sudden start doing like a TikTok dance. Can you imagine? Oh my God. I'm telling you now, if I go see this movie on Tuesday, if I go see Exorcist Believer on Tuesday, and in the middle of it, there's like a Megan moment, I'll be like, no, whoa, I will get out of my seat, and Jeff Ewan will tell you that I will do this. In a critic screen, I'll scream and I'll throw some shit. I'm not going to have it. If he does something like that in this movie, it's going to get ugly. And I'm sorry to my fellow, they're not, I don't want to call them film critics, my fellow influencers that are out there. I might get angry, but this can't be bad. If it's bad, I'm going to just cry. I'm going to cry. David Gordon Green will have failed for even attempting to make an Exorcist movie, not a horror director. Oh God. I hope to God. I know, I hear you, Sham. I don't want to know. I mean, I'm going to know on Tuesday. And we'll be back here. I think that'll be probably the biggest stream we've done in forever. I mean, one of the reasons we're doing these streams, like, what are we talking about here? Paw Patrol, Saw X, The Creator, Harrison, John Wick 4 still considered one of the best action films. I don't think The Creator will be considered. No, it's not. But if you listen to Brandon Davis, it's the best movie of the year. It's the best sci-fi film of the past decade, discounting Ex Machina, Interstellar for starters. You got to be kidding me. I mean, this guy is an embarrassment. Brandon Davis is an embarrassment. He's an embarrassment to film criticism. He shouldn't even issue opinions because he has no credibility, 0. I have credibility. He doesn't. So he might have more followers and more little thing. I have credibility. You can't buy that. You can't buy it. You can't purchase credibility. You have it or you don't. John Wick 4 is definitely one of the best action films. Thank you. Yeah, I was right? I mean, it's not like you didn't watch John Wick 4 and go, oh my God. Imagine if I came on here and said The Creator's the best sci-fi film of the past decade. You know how crucified I'd get? Why? Right? Because imagine if I came on here and said The Creator's the best sci-fi film of the past decade, and you guys went to see The Creator, you'd all come at me going, holy shit, how disrespectful to Ex Machina and Interstellar for starters, and then you guys can continue with a billion other movies. So the point is why isn't Brandon Davis? Why aren't you going after him? Why you guys come after me? Why does everyone come after me on Twitter? Go after Brandon Davis, the shill. Go after him and say, what are you talking about? The best sci-fi movie of the past decade. Did you watch Ex Machina? Are you familiar with Interstellar? Both those films bury The Creator. Creator, I don't even remember. First of all, I don't remember the film now. It's literally as if the movie is written by Chat GPT. It is an AI. That's what I said. It's an AI feeling film. It's not just about AI. It feels like it was written by AI. No emotion. John David Washington, my God, is he not a great actor? He is so boring. John David Washington, I don't know what we need to do with you, but you got to find a way to be less boring. You're very dull. I mean, oh God, he just needs to. If I was a director with John David Washington, I would actually bring a bottle of whiskey with me and I'd have him do a shot. And I'd just say, hey, man, let's just get the day started right. And he might think I'm an alcoholic, but I would do it for the betterment of art. I would go cheers and we'd down at least a shot and then we'd start our day. Every day with John David Washington would start with a shot of Fireball just so he'd loosen up. The Creator should get praise for its special effects. Yeah, for its budget, $80 million looks good. But listen, there's got to be more than just special effects. There just has to. But yeah, if the special effects sucked, then that'd be a problem. So yes, we can at least remember we talk about this all the time on MMT. Always, it's going back to the origins of the channel, going back to when I first started into film criticism. You have to have the ability to extract elements from films. So just example tonight, watching Paw Patrol, I extracted the fact that the animation looks good. Animation is bright, cheery, colorful, whatever. I understand that's really basic, but it's almost illumination-y. It looks better than I expected. So that's a positive. I'm not saying it's like best of the year, but it's solid. Okay, when I look at perfect example of extracting elements from films, I always go back to Gretel and Hansel, right? That is the horror film by the director. My God, I love the director, right? He's so good. I'm forgetting his name right now. You guys will remember, come in the comments. When I watch that film, I go, holy shit, this cinematography and the score. You have a cinematography and you have the score of Gretel and Hansel that are awards worthy, without question. The film itself is a little on the dull side. Great atmosphere. But when you have the cinematography working in that score in conjunction, by the way, the cinematographer of that film worked with what's his ass on I'm forgetting everything now. Roma. He worked on Roma, and you can see it. That's the thing, is when you watch a film, you have to extract elements. Always extract elements. So yeah, we can do that. So yeah, I can take that. I can take that out of the creator. I'm fine with that. Kristen Stewart, sleepwalk their way to negative. Are they in a wait? Is that a new movie coming out? I don't know. Kristen Stewart. Oh, I better watch it. No, I like Kristen Stewart. I think she's very good in Spencer. Spencer's very underrated. Talk about cinematography and score. Two things. Johnny Greenwood on that. That film alone, on those two things, it's a beautiful film. Man, what a absolutely ornate film, right? Fitting of its surroundings. What people don't like about that film is that it's about Princess Diana, but it's not about her life. It's about one weekend away, right, at the estate. But that's fine. There's nothing wrong. I actually enjoy that more because it's just more of an intimate, not much happens, but that's the point. She is stifled by this miserable family, right? Can you imagine being part of the royals? And then what I love about that film is at the end, when she finally escapes, I tell you this, and I admit things when I have to say I was swayed emotionally by the musical choice. All I Need Is a Miracle by Mike and the Mechanics. I mean, that's it. When I hear that song, we are next level. I don't care. What else do we hear that in this year? Air. And the second I hear All I Need Is a Miracle, talk about an uplifting song. You go, oh, and I go, what? I'm watching Spencer, and I'm like, excuse me? He's got the top cranked down, the two kids in the back. He's like, boom, turn the music up. I'm like, oh, this is good. This is good. Oz Perkins, thank you, Joe. I knew it was Perkins. I knew it was his son of, right? Isn't he? Yeah. Oz Perkins is really talented director. When you watch Gretel and Hansel, you see it. And I think you go back to, what was the one where they were trapped in the school? The girls at the boarding school. He did that film too. A24 film. Air is, we can just bounce around now because at this point, I mean, we've got about 15 minutes for the hour. I can just do whatever. We don't have much more. I want to show you one more thing, and then we'll do whatever you guys want to do. Let's see. Just real quickly, I want to get through three things fast. Saw X did pretty well. I mean, it doubled up Spiral, 18 million for the weekend. Lionsgate will take that. I thought it could push 20. It's certainly down from where we saw the Saw 2, Saw 3, Saw 4, which was like 30 million plus. But still some signs of life after Spiral. Remember, Spiral was in theaters when people were still being told, you can't go, you're going to kill everybody if you go to the movies. If you go to the movies, everyone's going to die. Everybody you know. Yep, everybody. Even your neighbors, people, maybe they know. Everyone's going to die. Here comes Dumb Money didn't do well in expansion. This film was handled poorly by Sony. And what happened was they platformed it. You guys know what that is because you're smart. You're MMT viewers. You guys get this. Platform, New York, LA, sometimes Chicago, and then we platform it out till we get to the whole, build it out till we get to the whole country. They should have done Dumb Money at one time. It should have been wide today. Friday. It should have been wide a week ago. Not this. They thought that it was the right move. It wasn't. What happened is people were talking about Dumb Money, and now 2-3 weeks later, they're not. That's why that film is not doing the numbers we expected. It's not even 10 million. I mean, it's an entertaining film. It's not a great film, but it's certainly better than a lot of the stuff that's in theaters right now. Barbie hits 800 million overseas, 800 overseas, and that's 1.43 billion worldwide. It's another thing. Also, Deadpool. This is like the rapid fire. I didn't get to these things, so I'm going to do them as fast as possible. Did you guys see Deadpool 3 on Saturday Night Football, Sunday Night Football? There it is. We've got Jackman. We've got obviously Ryan Reynolds, and we've got the director Sean Levy, right? So all three of them doing Deadpool 3. Now that the writer's strike is over, we might get back to work when the actors, I think we're going to get the actors done here in the next few weeks, right? And then it gets ratified, we're back to work. That's what we want to do. That's what we want to do, y'all. We want to have back to work. We want to get these things going. Gore Verbinski. Yeah, interesting filmmaker. I want to watch a director who is going to take me to a place that only they can by, remember we talk about all the time, the singular directorial imprint. Are they able to, as Oz Perkins does in Gretel and Hansel, deliver something that makes you stand up and go, that is good direction? I love how this film looks and moves. And it's, Amsterdam. Oh, was it Amsterdam? Is that the name of the movie with John David Washington and Bale and Margot Robbie? Was it Amsterdam? I think it was. No, Dumb Money is better than that film. That film's terrible. Was that the name of the film? I think it was. My bet is Deadpool 3 will be the last superhero movie to touch $1 billion. It might be. I mean, Deadpool 3, if you talk about future comic book movies, it's definitely the most anticipated. There's no contest. That or the Marvels? Who cares about the Marvels? Marvels was trending on Twitter. I'm like, why? Why are people talking about that? That's it, The Blackcoat's Daughter. That was the one in the boarding school, right, Joe? Yeah, exactly. Cure for Wellness, weird film, but I love it. That's the beauty of it, right? That when you, again, I'm all for weird, 100%. If that's the aim of the film. The problem is if it's weird and inaccessible and it needs to be a little more accessible, and A24 is definitely guilty of being weird, but the thing that usually works is that's their brand. So you go to an A24 film, you don't expect it to be run of the mill. You want to see something strange. And that's why that film, I think Cure for Wellness was like Fox, wasn't it? It should have been like A24. It should have been Neon. It was the wrong studio for the film. It's very important that you find the right home for your film. The studio matters. If I'm making an independent film, I'm going to try obviously to get it in the hands of A24 Neon, and then definitely not Netflix. They're not even up. Like, we're not selling to Netflix. I'm not kidding you. If I made a film, maybe one day. Can you imagine? Which I wouldn't review. That'd be weird. But here's actually, that would be hilarious. When you look at these studios, they have certain things they really do well. Focus is another one. I want to sell mine to a studio, Searchlight, obviously, that knows what they're doing and can do it theatrically. There's no way I'm selling to Netflix. Apple, yes, there's theatrical on that now. Amazon, yes, theatrical now. Although I still I'd stay away from the streamers. I know this sounds, you're not going to believe me when I say this. If I had a film and I was selling it and I was at Sundance and they said, here's what we're going to pay you. If all the bids came in and Netflix had the highest bid, which they never would because I've destroyed them over the past year, just nonstop. I want to do one more thing before I get into more comments. Is I would not sell to Netflix. I wouldn't sell to them. I know you guys don't. I wouldn't. You guys know that, right? Come right now. Tell me right now. Do you believe, would I sell my film to Netflix? Even if they offered me $5 million more and I had control, would I sell my film to Netflix? I can tell you I wouldn't. Oh my God. Mega YouTube. All right. That's it. I think I told you, Mega. Guys, can we ask Mega YouTube to leave? Mega YouTube, go back to Gore. Go back to Gore. Enjoy the boring show that he puts on. And that's it. Yeah. Okay. IFC, good call. Yeah, good call. The problem with IFC is, let's be honest with each other. Which film gets viewed quicker, an IFC film or A24, right? A24 is going to get viewed so much faster. The Gray Man too. Oh my God, I talked about that the other night with these executives. And by the way, one of the executives from, I can't tell you from what studio, actually production company, big production company, said, oh my God, The Gray Man's terrible. And I went, no. I looked at the guy and I'm like, you got it. You said The Gray Man's terrible. I go, I'm going to buy you a drink right now. We have just bonded cosmically over this. He goes, it's terrible. I go, the editing, oh, he's terrible. And I was like, thank you. My God. And this is executive, right? The deal's only in films and some shows. But isn't that amazing? Hans Zimmer's score in The Creator is not that good. It's very forgettable. I mean, you would think you'd expect more from Hans Zimmer, but you know what's funny? Can I just say something about Hans Zimmer's score in that he has to be inspired by the film. I imagine Hans Zimmer watched The Creator and was like, "Shit, I don't even know what to write here. This film's not very good. I need to right." If you're imagine watching something we talk about all the time. When I go to watch a movie like a Tar, an After Sun, when I watch oh my god, the one I love over and over and over from years ago. The horror film A24 with the girl, the nurse who goes crazy. Yeah, that. Literally at this point, I've forgotten everything that I'm going to say. It's been an hour in. Give me a break. Listen, here's the thing though, is that you have to be inspired. So if you watch something and they go, "We want you to do the score for this film," right? And then you see the film and you're like, "This isn't good." How are you going to work with that? You're like, "I need to be inspired to make this score." And then you watch the films like an Interstellar. Hans clearly inspired, right? Go back and look at the films where you get a great score out of composer. It's because the film's good. Shape of Water, the bestest plot's ever been, right? When you look at the score, you look at the film, and if the level is high, then of course, then the film is probably very good as well. So in this case, it's not good for Zimmer when he watches The Creator. He's like, this film's not good. It's not good. Okay, I'm going to do one more thing here, and then we'll do a couple comments and we're out of here. I'm going to look for, I don't know if I told you guys this, but Netflix flew a whole bunch of journalists to New York this weekend to watch May, December, and to watch Maestro at the New York Film Festival. They flew them. Okay, just hear me out. This is what Netflix did. And you guys tell me right now, let's have a quick conversation on this. Is this a problem? If Netflix flies a critic to New York City, pays for everything, I'm talking the Uber to get to the airport, the plane to get to New York, the Uber to get to the hotel, 5-star hotel, not the Motel 6, not Red Roof Inn, 5-star hotel, along with meals per diem, along with parties and premieres for movies. Can you guys, I'm going to defer to you. I'm not going to tell you. You know what I'm going to say. Can you, as a journalist, turn around and watch May, December, which I'm sure is great. It's Haynes. I'm sure it's a good film. But let's just pretend that May, December was bad. Let's pretend you saw Maestro and you said, "This isn't great." Could you then, as the journalist journalist is a very big air quotes, very big on these people. They accepted the trip to New York. They're in the 5-star hotel. They're going to go back to the 5-star hotel after they send the tweet. Are they going to send a tweet saying this film sucks? Is that going to happen? Compromised. 100%. Well, it's not just that. Gone Girl, it's not just that. It's they not only will they not invite you, they might cancel. Seriously, if I sent an inflammatory tweet, like let's imagine A24 flew me to New York and I saw Beau is Afraid and said this film's, oh my God, and I went on the rant. Granted, for a trip that would be unprofessional. I'm not going to lie to you. Just the way I reacted in the theater, but it was adults. The movie was over. But I don't get into it again. But if you destroy a film, they might cancel the flight home. 2 days, 1 night, or 3 days, 2 nights, NYC Netflix junket. Yeah. Well, it's not just the problem is that when you accept these things, you are giving up. You're compromised. And that's the thing. I want you guys to call people on this. When you see a critic in New York going, "Here I am at the hotel, I'm spending time," I want you to call them on it. You can do that. There's nothing wrong with it. We need more of that. If I did that, I'd hope you come after me here, except for my God, mega YouTube, which is useless. I need someone. If you're going to call me on something, call me on, "Hey, Eric, you went to go see this over in I took a trip. Did they pay for it?" Yes. I'd say, yes, they did. Did you like the film? Yes. But that's the problem is I can't accept the trip because I'm going to tell them that if I don't like the film, I'm going to say I don't like it. And they're going to say, "Well, then we can't have you come." And I'm going to say, "Well, then I'm out." I don't know what. I'm going to explain this one more time and we're almost done here. I don't know what it is. I can't explain it. I can't. I wish it was easier for me. I wish it were easier for me to just say things are great and go along, to be liked, to go along, to get free trips and access and be beloved. But and I do mean that very much in quotes. I don't care for that. I don't care about money. I sure I want money. I mean, of course I want to pay the bills. I want to make sure that I have the things I need in my life, including new football shirts. But I don't have this drive to make $10 million and live in a hill, live on top of the hill right here and look down on everybody. Like, if it happened, I'd be fine. I'd take it. But I don't, when I go to bed tonight, I'm not going to think to myself, my God, my life would be so much better up in the hill. I know a lot of people do. I don't know what it was. If it's a Midwest thing, the way I was raised by my parents, I don't know what it was. I can just tell you that that's not what drives me. So when these studios offer things, I just go, I don't give a shit. I don't care. Like, you can offer me whatever you got. I don't want it. I don't care. That's just who I am. And ultimately, that is the most dangerous person to this industry. Someone who doesn't give a shit about what the studios have to access, because I'm just going to, if they take it away, guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to go see it at the AMC on the weekend, and I'll still issue things. I still do streams and do it. You can't control me. So I'm not going to ever be compromised. That goes against the very fiber of my soul. And for some of these people, they don't seem to care. They want to go, look at me. I'm in New York in a 5-star hotel. So what? So what? So what? Integrity is worth more than the trip. That's my opinion, and I think you guys hopefully agree with that. All right, guys, that's it. I'm out. That's going to do it. I'm back on Tuesday. We're going to have a Tuesday stream for the first time in a long time, because it is The Exorcist Believer. This is not a review. Let's see. Do I still have? I haven't done it. Here it is. It's going to be a This Is Not a Review stream on Tuesday for The Exorcist Believer. I'll be getting out of it's over in Century City, so it's going to take me a little bit of time to get back. I'm going to guess the stream starts at 8:30, possibly 9. Get the notifications. This is going to be the biggest stream we've done in a long time, because if I don't like this film, I know there's a review embargo, but at least I'll be able to discuss, on the edges of the film, what is wrong with it. I hope I like it. I have a feeling, I'm going to leave you with this, and we'll find out on Tuesday. I have a feeling that after those test screenings for The Exorcist Believer, that Universal went in looking at this going, we can't have another Halloween Ends. They know that film was terrible. They know that they can't F this up. The Exorcist has to be menacing. It has to have zero fun to it. I mean, maybe a couple of playful moments between the girls who get possessed early on, just to show their innocence. But then at that point, once the possession takes place, there's not a single joke the rest of the film. It is dire. They're in the room. They're trying to separate the Exorcist. If it's at all hokey, jokey, if David Gordon Green inserts himself into the film in some weird way, we're gonna be in for a bad ride. I hope that all that was eliminated. If it was there, I pray the test screening audiences helped Universal shape this film and make it good. We'll know on Tuesday. We're back Tuesday between 8:30 and 9, live from LA. We will be here. Until then, guys, thank you for being here. As always, I much appreciate you and your patronage. I know there's a billion other channels to watch, but none do it as unvarnishedly as we do. Peace out.